Hey buddy, it's Crazy Good 4 and welcome to a brand new First Play where today we will be playing Sakura Succubus for the Nintendo Switch. So now, before we actually get into things, this is an M-rated game that I found on the Switch. I was like, you know what, we tend to play some like nice, fun, family-friendly games on this channel. We rarely play some of the more like, you know, high-end, raunchier stuff. We played like 2 Senran Kagura games, like I think last year. But besides those two, like there hasn't been anything, you know, of that sort on the channel. And I kind of want to, you know, see more of those games and kind of see my reaction from them. And also your guys' reaction. So Sakura Succubus, I have zero clue what this game is all about. I've seen literally zero of this game, but I am curious and I really want to, you know, peep out what it has in store for us. So what the heck is this? Okay, so we got some preferences that we can do. Attack speed, I'm gonna go fast. Auto forward, that's fine. That all looks fine to me. The music's kind of nice though. It's kind of like nice and chill. Skip unseen tech. Nah, we're not gonna skip anything. Load, we can load a save file apparently. There's some gallery stuff. Yeah, see. So I guess the best thing to do would just be to start, to get right into it. Let's do auto. Best idea. Alright everybody, are you having a good time? Yeah! Yeah, hearing that makes me super happy. Thank you for your continued support from the bottom of my heart. This concert hall really is amazing, isn't it? I can't believe I was invited to perform in such an incredible venue. It's what you deserve, Ayu Ayu. Okay, apparently that's like is that a main character or something? Potentially. We love you, Ayu Ayu. We'll always support you. Ayu, Ayu, Ayu. Wow, you all sound so passionate. I'm touched that you care so much about little old me. Hee hee. You know, when I first started out, I was just an underground idol. I didn't have many fans, and performing on a big stage like this was nothing more than an impossible dream. I used to cover anime songs on the streets. I worked hard to memorize the lyrics and the dance steps, but I was just a novice, or a novice, I think it's novice, and I messed up a lot. I never thought I'd come this far. Sometimes I thought about giving up. But I knew that would be spitting in the faces of all you wonderful people who cheered me on even when I was at my lowest. Ayu never gives up. You're strong, Ayu, keep fighting. You can do it, you can do anything. We love you, Ayu. Thank you everybody, thank you so much. When I was just still a beginner, I knew I couldn't afford to take a single fan of mine for granted. Your love and affection meant the world to me. You cheered me on and I knew I had to keep going. I didn't want to let any of you down. If I did that, I wouldn't be able to call myself an idol ever again. My path was a hard one, but I never gave up. I devoted my life, my very soul, to the pursuit of being an idol. And now I finally made it. I'm standing on this huge stage in front of thousands and thousands of people, and I've never felt more humbled in my life. You guys are my light, my life, and my love. My heart belongs to every single one of you. And so, I'm going to dedicate this next song to you. This is my latest single, Overflowing Feelings. Let's go! Alright, this is what I've been waiting for. This is such a hype song. Wow, I'm getting goosebumps already. I can't believe that Ayu Ayu loves us so much. She's not like the other idols out there. She really does value her fans. She's so pure and beautiful. I just can't get enough of her cute smile. I'll support you until the end of time, Ayu Ayu. From now and forever, you're the only RL 3D girl for me. Hello? I assume that means real life 3D girl, but sure. Ayu, Ayu, Ayu. Yeah, that's right. Ayu, Ayu, geez, what am I even doing with my life? What the heck was that Hiroki person? I don't know. I stare at the stage, my hands jammed in my pockets. As the lights dim, the crowd falls quiet. It's so silent you could hear a pin drop. If I was as crazy about okay, how do you say that? EQA? Ayu, as some of these other fans, I'd probably consider it an immense privilege to even stand in the same room as she is, no matter how far away I am from the stage. I'm sure for some of the guys out there, this is the happiest night of their lives. A middle-aged man standing next to me is actually crying. Some diehard Ayu fans are acting like this concert is a religious experience, and I guess I can't fault them for it, ridiculous though it seems to me. Gods aren't so very different from idols. Part of me wishes I could join in the hype, but this isn't really my scene. I'm pretty anxious too. When my boss finds out what happened today, he's going to kill me. If only the trains hadn't been delayed. Then I would have gotten here on time, and I would have made it to the front of the crowd like I was ordered to. Okay, so this person apparently isn't like an assignment of some sort. I brought my camera equipment with me, but I can hardly set it up now. I'm hemmed in by dozens of men, all wearing IU shirts and holding glow sticks. There's barely enough room to swing around a cat, let alone wield a large industry-sized camera. This might be one of the worst nights of my life. This concert hall is huge, but it's not enough to accommodate all of IU's fans. She's way too popular. I've stood through about 15 different tracks so far, and my ears are still ringing from the crowds yelling in IU's adorable vocals. I don't think I can take much more of this. I hope this is the last song. Slowly, almost menacingly, the background music of IU's latest song begins to build. It grows louder and louder until I can feel it reverberating through the ground. It's so loud my teeth start to chatter, and my whole body trembles with nervous energy. Gosh, this game relies a lot on reading, which is kind of annoying. Lights burst upon the stage like fireworks, once more revealing IU's perfect body. The crowd, as expected, goes nuts. IU. IU strikes a pose. She holds one arm out as though beckoning the crowd, while her other hand curls about her microphone. IU's gaze sweeps across the sea of glow sticks spread out before her. She smiles sweetly as though thanking each and every one of her fans. For a moment, her eyes seem to catch mine. Her gaze lingers, hot like coals, upon me. I feel my skin prickle. Has she picked me out of the crowd? Does she even know I'm alive? I'm surrounded by so many people it's doubtful she can even see me. I'm not even one of IU's fans. I'm not at this concert because I love her music. If I'm being perfectly honest, I actually think her high-pitched voice is annoying. Dang. Does IU notice? Is that why she's looking at me? Suddenly I feel exposed. I'm not like the other men here. I'm just a filthy imposter. I shouldn't be here at all. Dang, he's calling out IU and himself. The bright lights hurt my eyes. I wince. All the while, IU continues to hold my gaze. She stares at me, her eyes large and all-consuming. Then she begins to sing. Oh, are we gonna see anything special now? Oh no, finally we actually, out of there. Well, this is just great. Now what am I going to do? I kick at the loose pebble on the sidewalk. It skitters away, bouncing a handful of times before it's swallowed by the darkness. The street is dark, illuminated only by a few street lamps. It's cold too. I shudder. I'm not sure what time it is. IU's concert finished at around 21:30. What would that be? 21:30? Because I live in America and we don't go with the 24-hour clock. 21:30. If 24 is 12. 23 is 11. 10. 9. Okay, so about 9:30. Then there was the handshake event There was a handshake event? What the heck? Never heard of that before. I attended on the off chance I might be able to get a brief word with the famous IU and a couple of photos. But I wasn't to be. I waited in line to shake IU's holy hand for well over an hour. I was almost at the front of the queue when the handshake event ended, and those of us unfortunate enough not to meet our idol face to face were told to screw off by a security guard. Well, he didn't say it in quite those terms. There were more apologies involved, but that's what it boiled down to. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Sorry, but it's getting late, and IU has a very busy schedule. Well, very's not there, but you know what? Let's pretend it is. We'll need to cut this handshake event short for now. I apologize to those of you who were unable to see IU. Please, support her during her next concert. You'll get another chance to see her then. And with that, we were dismissed. My camera equipment weighs heavy in the bag, looped around my shoulder. I wish I had a chance to actually use any of it. If only the trains hadn't been delayed. If only. It's not my fault that I got to the concert late. There were delays. It couldn't be helped. Try explaining that to my boss on Monday, though. I know he'll pin the blame on this tobacco squarely upon my skinny shoulders. It's easier to chew me out than the whole rail company. Well, that's what bosses do. Blame the person, not, what is to be blamed. I seem to be sighing a lot lately. I think it must be stress, that or a critical lack of sleep. Who knew being a photographer could be such hard work? It's almost midnight on a Saturday. It wouldn't be the first time my boss has made me work during the weekends, and it certainly won't be the last. I came all the way out here so I could take pics of IU's latest concert, but I didn't get a single snapshot. What a waste of time! Yawn. I yawn, pressing one hand against my gaping mouth. Since it's late, I should probably head home. I feel exhausted and I have Sunny have a headache. Curling up in bed and resting my head on a nice soft pillow sounds like heaven right about now. But it's rare I come to this part of Tokyo, and part of me's craving a drink. There's a lot of nice high-class bars around this area, and I sure could use a pick-me-up. If I delay too long, the trains will stop running, then I'll need to spend the night in a hotel. That sounds like a lot of pain. But I can cross that bridge when I get to it. Somewhat cheered by my plan, I turn neatly on my heels. There's a pretty nice bar around here, only a short walk away. My aching legs could use some exercise, and the insistent wind helps bring some color to my cheeks. I've not gone more than a handful of steps, however, when I pause. There's a lone woman crossing the street parallel to me, walking in opposite direction. What's she doing here? Her head is what? Her head is low, her features obscured by the dark, but something about her looks familiar. Her hair is a light orange-brown color and is tied back in two cute twin tails. These twin tails stream behind her like banners as she walks, fluttering in the breeze. I'd recognize that hair anywhere, even if I hadn't seen it illuminated by the bright lights of a stage an hour ago. It's IU. No way. I wonder why she's walking the nighttime Tokyo streets alone. Since she's a famous idol, shouldn't she be chaperoned by at least a dozen bodyguards? This doesn't make any sense. There's no reason IU should be out at a time like this. Maybe this woman isn't IU. It could be someone who just so happens to look a lot like her. But it's impossible. She's even wearing the same cute pink and white outfit she wore while she was performing. Her skirt is a many-layered, ruffled work of art, a little like a fancy wedding cake, and atop her head there sits a small, not at all practical hat. Her arms and legs are bare, exposed to the elements, and she's wearing a very tall, impressive pair of heels that make loud clacking sounds or noises with every step. It was hard for me to see her clearly during the concert, given I was so far away from the stage. IU was nothing more than a blur, barely visible above the heads of thousands of fans. Now, however, she's standing impossibly close to me. She's only a few feet away on the other side of the street. She feels less like an incredible, untouchable idol and more like a regular human being, which of course she is. IU might be beloved by millions of people across Japan, but she's not okay, that's a word I don't think I've ever seen. Infallible? Yeah, infallible. Actually, never mind. I might have seen it before, but very rarely. She doesn't have magical powers, and she's no goddess to be worshipped at an altar. She's a regular girl. Without those heels of hers, she'd probably be pretty short. She's less impressive now on this windswept street than she was on the stage, but she feels more approachable. I was just laminating my inability to take IU's photo 5 minutes prior. I thought I'd failed my assignment, but this could be my lucky break. If I ask nicely, maybe she'll pose for a pic or two. My career will be saved. IU, hey IU. I don't know if saying hey IU is the right way to address a famous celeb like IU, but neither do I care. These photos aren't going to take themselves. Huh? IU pauses. She turns, her lips pursed in a confused frown. The moment I see her face, the air is knocked out of my lungs. It's definitely her. There's nobody else that this could be. This is the idol who's captured millions of hearts ever since her official debut. This is the idol I've seen in magazines, on a TV screen, and plastered on billboards all over Tokyo. It's the same idol I saw, albeit begrudgingly, as she performed on stage, bathed in a sea of lights. I can't let her go. The future of my career is riding on this. I don't want to be fired. IU! What? IU takes a step back, alarmed. Who are you? Don't come any closer to me, you creep. I'm carrying pepper spray in my bag, and I'm not afraid to use it on a mongrel like you. Dang. That's fine. You can pepper spray me or call me a mongrel or anything you want. You can even ask me to bow down before your feet. Anything's fine so long as you let me take your photo. A photo? You mean like an upsquirt photo? You're just like I'm a pervert. Hey, chill out. No, I'm not. I'm just a humble photographer and I want to do my job. Please, won't you pose for me? Ayu doesn't sound moved by my cries. If anything, she looks downright disgusted. She wrinkles her nose. Whatever happened to appreciating all her fans, huh? Takes a few more hurried steps back. Leave me alone, you virgin loser. I'm not interested in posing for a so-called photographer like you. But Ayu, please, listen. No, back off or I'll call the police. I mean it. You're nothing more than an insect to me. I have no qualms about squashing you. Leave me alone. But I don't. The promise of maybe not being shouted at by my irate boss, or indeed fired, is too heady a holy grail for me to pass up. You're nothing more than it. Sorry. I take another step forward. Ayu tries to retreat, but I'm faster than she is, and she is wearing a very high pair of heels. See, that was your fault, Ayu. Ayu totters, she teeters, it looks like she's going to fall. She opens her mouth, alarmed, and a high-pitched squeal emits from her lips. Kya! Ayu, wait, hold on. Ayu might have called me a mongrel and a bug, and it's true I have no fond feelings for her music, but I still don't want her to get hurt. I need to try and help her, and so I throw caution to the wind. I dive forward, seizing Ayu's wrist with my arm and pulling her teetering body against mine. Huh? What are you? Ah! Unfortunately for me, gravity is a harsh mistress, and I'm unable to resist her. I fall backwards, Ayu's prone body still pressed against my own. I grip my teeth together, ready for impact. As I fall, time seems to slow to a trickle. The seconds turn into minutes, which turn to hours. And then, with a loud thud and a worrying crunch, I collapse against the cold, gray sidewalk. Oof. Is that Roblox or something? I lie there for a few moments, winded, and stare up at the starry night sky. My head is pounding against the speakers, like the speakers at Ayu's concert, and my back is killing me. I hope I hadn't broken any bones. Gingerly, I twitch my fingertips. They seem to be in working order. At least, as a photographer, my fingers are pretty important. Then I try to sit up, but I can't. There's a weight pressed down upon my chest. It's... Oh, hello! What's poppin', Ayu? How you doing? Ayu? The famous idol Ikui Ayu, Japan's beloved sweetheart, is sitting astride me like a cowgirl. Ooh, I don't know if I like that sentence. Her legs are pressed, her thighs what is that word? Pinyoning me in place, while her skirt is all rumpled up. She holds one hand to her head, wincing as she tries to gather her bearings. She looks dazed and confused, but I don't think she's hurt. I was able to shield her from the worst of her fall. I took the full brunt of the pain for her sake, all to protect her pretty face, and I'm glad it worked. Who'd want to look at photos of a famous idol with a bruised eye and a split lip? I'd get into a world of trouble if I tried to publish pics like that. Speaking of taking photos, crap. Wait, what happened? I almost forgotten about my bag slung across my chest, filled with expensive, top-of-the-range equipment. I didn't buy any of that equipment myself, it was on lease by my company. My boss always warns me before I head off on my assignments to take care of the expensive camera and the lenses he trusts me with. This equipment is worth more than your life. If you break it, I'll break one of your arms. Do you understand? Ogasawara. There we go. I think that was pretty good. Damn it. The words force their way out of my chest. My lungs feel constrained by both my mounting anxiety and the weight of Ayu's body. I haven't checked inside my bag yet, but I'm already fearing the worst. The crunch sound I heard as I fell over. Uh-oh. It's kind of at that moment where it's like you kind of hope it's a bone instead of like your phone or like a device you have on you. What if that wasn't my skull crumpling on itself like a paper plate, but all my equipment? If my camera's broken, it'll be impossible to take a pic of Ayu, even though she's right in front of me. I've screwed up yet again. My boss is going to be pissed off. Why'd I have to come over all chivalric? Yeah, chivalric. As such, a critical junction. My job's on the line as it is, without adding wanton destruction of company property to my list of sins. Ayu might be attractive, but she isn't worth this much trouble. Now, I want nothing more than to drink myself into oblivion. I mean, to be fair though, she was the one that called you a bug, kind of like called you worthless in a way, so... Hey, Ayu? I blink up at Ayu. Her pretty face swims before me, rendered vague and hazy thanks to my pounding headache. I'm sorry about all that. I know you might be in a state of shock, but would you mind getting off me? It's hard to breathe, you see. Ayu doesn't reply. Instead, she stares at me, her eyes blank and unseeing, her mouth slack. Her soul hasn't escaped from her body, has it? Has she gone into a state of catatonic shock? Since Ayu's an idol and a popular one at that, she must be bound by quite a strict contract. Most idols aren't allowed to spend much time with members of the opposite sex. Could this be the first time she's ever been so close and personal with a man who isn't her father, I mean? That might explain why she's staring at me so intensely. She looks like she's just clapped eyes on an extraterrestrial. Damn. I curse once more, my head and my lungs on fire. As if it wasn't bad enough that I've potentially broken tens of thousands of yen worth of camera equipment, it's beginning to look like I might have broken Ayu too. I only reached out to grab her because I wanted to help. I was trying to spare her from sustaining too much damage. I never meant to cause her so much harm. Ayu, I can't let myself panic. If I do, I might startle Ayu even more. I need to be cool, calm, and impersonal, like a doctor. Though, given the circumstances, that's quite a tall order. The weight of Ayu's body is pressing against me. I can feel the warmth of her skin through my clothes, not to mention the fullness of her thighs. Her lips are pursued, and her cheeks are dusted with red blush. She looks utterly delectable, much like the fake strawberry that adorns her tiny top hat. I don't think much of Ayu's singing voice, but I can finally see in painfully clear detail why she's so enduringly popular. She's insanely good looking, and unlike a lot of other celebs who hide behind extensive photo editing, she looks even better in person. She smells good too, kinda like strawberries. Well, I guess that explains the strawberry on top of her head. The cool wind runs through Ayu's hair, wafting her scent towards me. Her unique aroma fills my nostrils while her body consumes my eyes. Shut up. Now my five senses know nothing other than Ayu. The hardness and the coldness of the sidewalk melts away, as does the throbbing pain in my back and my head. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter that I can't breathe. I want this moment to last a lifetime, but that's hardly practical. If anybody sees us like this, we're done for. Ayu's reputation will be in shreds. Unless, of course, she claims that I molested. Oh boy. Then I can forget about my work-related woes. I'll be sent straight to prison instead. Yahoo! Frig, this is bad. I need to try and wriggle my way out of this position, or things will go from bad to worse. Ayu, please, we can't stay like this, not in the middle of public streets. I don't want to sound rude, but would you mind moving for both our sakes? Ayu breathes heavily. Her voluptuous chest rises and falls, and her thighs cinch about my waist. Rather than extricating herself from me, she's gripping me more immensely than ever. Okay, I think she might be a little bit into this. Ayu, please. I tried to dissuade her. Dissuade. Now that's a word I've never heard before. That's kind of a good word though. I'm gonna start using that. I tried to dissuade her, but to little avail. Her fingers grip the fabric of my shirt, and then she does something truly improbable. She begins to grind her hips against me. Oh boy. I lie there like a pinned bug. I'm so stunned, I hardly know what to think or feel. This is... Oh, I can actually... Oh, okay, so I kind of get the idea. We finally actually get a tiny bit of gameplay, but it's like barely anything. So I have two options. I either say this is incredible, or this is taking things a bit too far. You know what? If she's into it, I'm into it. Let's say this is incredible. If this is the perfect paragon of feminine beauty who keeps rubbing against me, I won't be responsible for any future actions. She's so cute, and the little moans spilling from her mouth are to die for. Yeah, haha. I never was a big fan of Ayu, but if this keeps up, she might just convert me. After this is over and done with, will I be obligated to attend the rest of her concerts? Will I have to fork over the cash to buy all her newest CDs, her merch, and tickets for her performances, and also be able to avoid any ambulances for police cars that pass by my house? It'll be hard to do that if I lose my job though. And it'll be even harder if I get sent to prison. I know I should put an end to this, but I'm a weak man. Ayu's undeniably good looking, and she's more appealing than ever when she isn't talking in an annoying high-pitched voice of hers. Her moans. Yeah, you're so sexy, it should be a crime. I want to feel more of Ayu's perfect body against mine. I want to hold her. I want to kiss her. Ayu blinks. She looks down at me, her fingers still curled about the fabric of her body. Wait, what? Her fingers still curled about the fabric of my shirt. Something tells me that's a little bit of a typo. Her lips pursed. Her eyes don't look glassy like they did before. And though she's still blushing, her brow is furrowed. She doesn't look like she's enjoying herself. In fact, she seems downright pissed. Then why is she doing this like whole gyrating motion? Like, come on. You. Yes, what is it? You pervert. Wow, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. After all of this, she then calls me the pervert. Oh my gosh, I'm mad. Ayu slaps my cheek. She slaps it so hard my teeth rattle and stars explode behind my eyelids. That's probably going to leave a mark. Damn, now the right side of my face is throbbing. What a nice way to cap off the night. What a nice way to cop off the night with the stupid freaking police car. I'm mad. I can't believe you would try to take advantage of me like that. Out in the open. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're the absolute worst. Shut up, Ayu. You're literally pissing me off. Holy crap. Ayu pushes herself off me. She gets to her feet, still teetering in her heels, then glowers. Your mother would be ashamed if she could see you right now. You're less than an insect. You're even less than a worm. You don't even deserve to exist on the same planet as those worthy creatures. At least worms and ants and spiders help the environment. They're part of the ecosystem, but you're just a waste of space. You don't deserve to live. Why don't you just die? Gosh. How about you? Okay, I'm not gonna say anything for Ayu because I'm not trying to, sound harsh or anything. Better yet, I'll kill you myself. I really will kill you. Ayu doesn't try to help me back to my feet. Instead, she spits vitriol at me. Even more corrosive than the harshest of chemicals. What the heck is vitriol? I try to get up, but Ayu doesn't make it easy for me. Slapping my face wasn't enough to satisfy her self-righteous rage, because she kicks my shin. I stagger back, hissing, doubled over with pain. I would have hissed too at that. Damn it. Ayu's heels are very sharp and pointed, and being kicked by them hurts. Oh dang, with the heels, that's gotta suck. At least Ayu's hatred has helped to ease my raging passions. I don't feel turned on about anymore. Instead, I feel pained, upset, and confused. I would just feel mad in general. I was kind of being the jerk in this situation. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you. You felt I wanted to steady you. It's because of me that you didn't hurt yourself. Couldn't you thank me for that at least? Thank you? Ayu stares at me incredulous. What is that word? I don't know. Why should I thank you? I never would have fallen if you hadn't called out to me, you moron. Well, I guess she's not wrong about that. That's 1 point to Ayu. Besides, I bet you wanted me to land on top of you. You were practically throbbing with anticipation. You're the one that was gyrating your hips, keeping me in place, and just not and moaning even. What? You're the worst, and I never want to see you ever again. You're lucky I'm not going to call the police on you, you sick frick. Never talk to me ever again. That is an order. Ayu turns and marches off. She mutters to herself all the while, her arms swinging back and forth at her sides like a soldier's. I'm not sure what she's saying exactly, but a few choice bits and pieces of her angry monologue filter back to me on the cool breeze. Loser. Who does he think he is? Attractive or anything? Not my type, so. Like that before? Must be a trick. Don't let him get the better of you. Wait, like that before? Try to connect the dots here. There's nothing special about that guy. Okay, so maybe it's just having some thoughts. I don't know. I'm so stunned by my unexpected encounter with Ayu, I can only stand there, mouth agape. It's only after a few minutes have elapsed that Ayu has faded from view that I return to my senses. My head's still throbbing and my back aches, but I don't think I've broken anything. That's something to be thankful for, at least. But the same can't be said for my camera. Shoot. I take one cursory look inside my bag and soon wish I hadn't bothered. There's no two ways about it. My boss is definitely going to kill me. Well, that was quite an interesting thing that happened. There's more. Gosh, this game is just like continuously going. What a day. I'm sitting in a smoky bar, nursing some cocktail or another. I'm not sure what it's called, and neither do I really care. I was so out of it when I arrived at this bar, and more than a little intimidated by the vast selection of drinks available. I asked the bartender to make up whatever cocktail they wanted. The cocktail is a comforting amber color, and it tastes faintly fruity. It's not bad though. In my current state of misery, I wouldn't say no to something even harder. Then again, getting too drunk might be a poor idea. My head's still killing me. Though alcohol can sometimes take the edge off of worldly pains, at other times it can only serve to exacerbate them. Or what? Okay, I thought it was exacerbate, but it's not. Exacerbate? That's a strange ass word. I don't even know what that is. If you want something that ease the pain, just get a Baja Blast from Taco Bell. Ugh, not only is it delicious, not alcohol, so it's not hard, so it's not gonna get you drunk, and it's just takes all the stress out. Given I've been so unlucky today, I'd rather not take my chances. I sip on my drink, only half tasting it. Jazzy piano music fills the air, mingled with that of casual conversation. This bar is a fairly popular one, and several men and women, though mostly men, are sitting about drinking. Some of the men are in business suits, while the women wear sparkly evening dresses, their faces carefully made up, and their feet wedged into perilously high-heeled shoes. I wonder if these men just finished work. It's a weekend, but that doesn't necessarily mean R&R for Japan's bankers or... Is it R&R? What? Rest and relax? Maybe that's actually probably what it is. Some companies operate even during Saturdays and Sundays. Their workers are obliged to work long into the night. I pity all these guys, with their slicked back hair and their slightly rumpled suits. At least I would, if I hadn't had such an awful day myself. Not only did I fail to take any photos of Ayu, but I was also slapped across the face by the self-same woman. Then to cap things off, I broke the very expensive camera equipment my boss commanded me to take care of. I'm so not looking forward to going into work on Monday. My boss is gonna eviscerate me, okay. Now that word I know. At least the businessmen around me, weary though they look, seem to be having fun. They probably earn a lot more than I do, and I doubt their bosses are as draconian as my own. My boss is a jumped up man with an inflated sense of self-importance who loves to breathe down the necks of his employees. He chooses out for the smallest of errors, and he seems to take genuine sadistic delight in making the newest hires cry. He's never made me cry. I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little afraid of him. I've generally kept in his good graces for the next 3 years I've been working under him, but that's going to come to an end on Monday. I'd like to think he won't fire me. As much as I dislike my job, I kinda need it to pay the bills, but that might be a touch too optimistic. Even if he doesn't fire me, which is a distinct possibility, the cost of this smashed camera are gonna come directly out of my earnings. Either way, I'll be in trouble. I guess I'll be eating instant noodles for the rest of my life. This is the last time I'll be able to go to a bar too. I mope over my drink, my fingers buried in my hair. I'm suddenly very aware of how expensive this cocktail was, and I want to make it last for as long as possible. Whether I get fired or not, finances are gonna be tight. I can't afford to spend too much. How I envy the businessmen around me, forking over bills for fancy drinks and snacks. Pretty women, maybe girlfriends, but they could be escorts, it's hard to tell. Hanging on their arms, laughing at all their bad jokes, their lips shimmering with gloss. When was the last time a pretty girl draped herself over me like that, huh? Well, strictly speaking, it was about half an hour ago. Ayu was making herself pretty comfortable on my lap until she slapped me. That's another thing to feel rotten about. That IU's so sadistic, she really got my hopes up. I take another sip of my cocktail. I hope it might lighten my dreary thoughts, but it's actually making me feel worse. Maybe I should hurry up and get out of here. I'm too broke to get drunk, and the trains will stop running soon. I knock back the rest of my cocktail, then get to my feet. I'm ready to make a beeline for the exit when... Oh my, are you leaving already? That is a shame, it's not even midnight yet. A sultry voice calls me back. Oh, a sultry voice. I turn, blinking, then gasp. Oh, who is this? Hey. What's her name? Well, I guess we'll see in a moment. Sitting by the counter is an incredibly attractive woman. She has dark tan skin, which contrasts with her almost bone-white hair. She's dressed in business attire, but her pinstripe suit and white shirt gape open to reveal an ample bosom. One of her legs is crossed over the other, and in one hand she holds a glass. Her eyes are green, a little like cats, and they're lidded. A playful smile puckers her lips, and her face is flushed, probably from the alcohol. Something about her looks familiar, but I can't quite place her face. To be quite frank, her large bosom is attracting most of my attention, as are her thighs. You could crush a watermelon between thighs like that. Was she really calling out to me? But why? I don't think I'm particularly unattractive, but my flyaway hair and my baggy jeans aren't the pinnacle of fashion or good taste. It should be obvious at a glance that I don't pull in half the salary as some of the big shot businessmen around here do. I must have been mistaken. It can't have been me she was calling out to. There's no way. I turn, ready to walk away once more, but... Hey, I was talking to you, you know? It's rude to leave a lady in the lurch. Didn't your mother teach you any manners? Foo foo foo. I don't get what the heck was that foo 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 thing. I've seen that in like a few other games or whatever. That woman's laugh is throaty and does it any number of curious things to my body. I can feel my hair standing on end and my mouth feels dry despite the alcohol I consumed. I guess she really was talking to me. I beg your pardon? I glance back at the femme fatale, doing my level best not to gawp at her chest. I'm not a teenager anymore, damn it. Do I know you? You look familiar, though I don't think we've met before. Oh, I look familiar, do I? I suppose that's hardly a surprise. My name's Marina Wakatsui. Wait, I almost had that first try. Wakatsuki Marina. Does that ring any bells? Ah, now that she said it, her name does sound very familiar. The newspaper I work at, Sakura Daily, ran an article on her just a few weeks ago. Wakatsuki Marina is a famous entrepreneur and businesswoman, half Japanese, half South African, I think. Marina is the head of a world-famous brand of designer clothes, perfume, cosmetics, and more. She's one of the wealthiest women in Tokyo. Though she's no idol, I think she might be more famous than IU. Wow. I've run into 2 famous celebs today, all under an hour. What are the odds of that? While IU was content to slam me and call me a pervert, Marina actually seems interested in instigating a conversation. This is amazing! I'm a photographer for a local paper, so I've met a few B-list celebrities in my time, but never before have I met a woman that excludes class and glamour like Wakatsuki Marina. Be still, my beating heart. My, you certainly look surprised. You'll attract flies if you let that mouth hang open like that, dear. It's not a very attractive look. Oh, I'm sorry. It's alright, you don't need to apologize. I'm not offended. People often gawp when they see me. I'm quite used to it. I am a celebrity, you know. Yes, I'm aware. I can't believe I didn't recognize you sooner. I bow again, which makes Marina giggle anew. Like I said, you don't need to apologize. I get enough of that at work. It's always, yes ma'am, right away, and we're so terribly sorry. My workers all respect me, but they're so distant. It almost seems like they're afraid of me. I know I'm very wealthy, beautiful, charismatic, and so on, but at the end of the day, I'm still a normal woman. I get tired of people groveling before me. Sometimes I just want to have a normal conversation. Oh right, I see, An apology is fully formed on my tongue, but I cut myself off before I can say anything foolish. This must be why Marina called me over, despite the vast gulf of difference between our wealth and social standing. She's tired of being treated like a celeb, and no doubt owing to a capricious whim of the wealthy. She wants to speak to a member of the peanut gallery like me. This is all a bit sudden, my heart's thudding incredibly hard, but, well, if Marina wants to speak to a nobody like me, who am I to refuse her? Now, why don't you sit your cute bottom back down at the counter, sweetie? Don't you want to buy another drink? I wouldn't mind, but I don't have much money. That's alright, I'll be more than happy to foot the bill. Dang! Really, really nice of her. That's very kind of you, but are you sure I wouldn't want to put you out? Nonsense! Marina waves one manicured hand carelessly. I'm a wealthy businesswoman. A drink or two is hardly going to break the bank. Ahaha, I guess you're right about that. I flush, embarrassed that I, a mere photographer, even thought to question the depths of Marina's pockets. She's infinitely richer than I could ever aspire to be. I know common courtesy dictates that men should foot the bill during dates, but screw it. This isn't really a date, and Marina's the only one who offered to buy me a drink in the first place. I think it's fun to flaunt convention every once in a while. How are there 2 police cars in the same video? I'm mad. If you don't mind, then sure, I'll be happy if you buy me a drink. That's the spirit. I like a man who can hold his liquor. Bartender, can I get a cup of lemon highballs over here? So is that it, or is there more? I sit down next to Marina while she plies me with alcohol. We drink together for a while, idly exchanging banter. All the while, I try not to stare at Marina's chest. I can hardly believe that this is happening. What's become of my life? About half an hour and 3 more lemon highballs later, Marina shoots me a curious glance and says... What does she say? So, Hiroki, why do you look so down? Did something happen? I guess you could say that, yeah, but was it really that obvious? Quite. That's why I called out to you. I couldn't stand to see such a handsome young man looking so, well, defeated. I know we're relative strangers, but as the old saying goes, a problem shared is a problem halved. Would you mind telling me what's on your mind? I don't know if you want to hear it. It's nothing that interesting. It's work stuff, I guess. As a businesswoman, I'm very well acquainted with troublesome work stuff. I have plenty of problems of my own to deal with. I figured as much, that's why I don't want to burden you with mine. But Marina leans in a little closer to me. I can feel the silky softness of her silvery hair against my flushed skin. I think it would be nice to listen to someone else's woes. It might take my mind off my own concerns, and who knows? Listening to your problems might help me think of a way to resolve these pesky problems of mine. Would you mind telling me what's wrong, dear? I'd love to get to know you better. You're so cute after all. Marina draws her pink cat-like tongue along my lower lip. Why? You're so good to eat. Oh! I don't think I'm all that good looking. But if you want to listen to my belly aching, I suppose I can oblige. You did buy me a few drinks after all. Now comfortably lightheaded, I offer Marina a small smile, then launch into my tale. I'm a photographer for the Sakura Daily. Do you know it? Ah yes, I was interviewed by an employee of that newspaper only a few weeks prior. So I wasn't misremembering. We really have run a piece on Marina before. It's nice to know I'm not going senile, I guess. Well, my boss sent me out to a concert by IU tonight. She's a popular idol? Yes, I know about her. I know her very well, as a matter of fact. Person. You'd be surprised to know how close we are, foo. I look at Marina intrigued. She doesn't like the sort of look like the sort of person. Where did I get some words from? She doesn't look like the sort of person who'd be familiar with the musical stylings of Ikui Ayu. Marina looks like she'd be into classical music or jazz, not high-energy J-pop numbers. I guess you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, I was meant to take some pics of Ayu while she was performing, but there were a few problems. The trains were delayed and I arrived at the concert late. It had already started when I got there. I couldn't get to the front of the crowd. I was shunted all the way to the back, behind a whole sea of people. There was no space and there were way too many bodies that I couldn't set up my camera. I had no chance to take any photos. Oh no, that sounds like quite a disaster. It was. My boss is gonna kill me when he finds out, and that's at the end of it. I give Marina a quick, abridged version of the night's events. I tell her about my gloomy nighttime wanderings through the city, then my chance encounter with Ayu. I don't go into every single gory detail. I don't, for instance, tell Marina how excited I got when Ayu fell on me, but I do tell Marina that Ayu slapped me for my efforts, then called me a pervert. I didn't want to do anything inappropriate to her. I was just trying to do my job. I lament helplessly, and my words falling into a tumble from my throat. When lubricated but with alcohol, it's surprisingly easy to gush about the most embarrassing of things. She slapped me really hard too. The whole side of my face is still smarting. Ah yes, I can see a red mark on your face now that you mention it. She must have done a number on you. She really did. For an idol, she had a surprising amount of upper body strength. Imagine if she was wearing a ring though. Oh, that would have been even worse. I didn't know she was so powerful. She certainly doesn't look like it. She's so tiny and she wears so much pink. Idols are made of tougher stuff than you might think. They pour a lot more time and effort into perfecting their dance routines, and they work long hours. I'm not surprised that Ayu's so strong. Though I wish she'd learned to use the head of hers. She's so thoughtless. I really am sorry she should cause you so much distress, Hiroki. It's fine. What's done is done. I'm trying not to think about it too much. And the alcohol certainly helped bake. My surroundings look hazy and unreal, and my mind is pleasantly numb. One or two things about Marina's words do seem quite odd though. It sounds like you know Ayu quite well, not just as an idol but as a person. I suppose you could say that. Ayu and I are close. Like I said, we're not family, but we might as well be. She's like a naughty little sister to me, I suppose. What, really? I didn't know that. Few people do. My relationship with Ayu isn't widely publicized. Ayu is good at putting on a cute act before the cameras, but she has a short temper and she can be quite a Nancy sometimes, or at times, whatever, or quite nasty sometimes. Gosh, do you want me to have a word with her? I'm really quite upset that she would treat you so badly. Oh no, it's fine. Like I said, it's too late to worry about that now. Maybe so, but I do sympathize with you. You must have had a rough night. Well, that's just part of being an adult. I'm used to it. The alcohol has helped, so has talking to you. Thanks for listening to my worries, Marina. It's no problem at all. I'm glad I was able to aid you in some small manner, though I wish I could do more. It's partially my fault Ayu was so rude to you. If I disciplined her better, she never would have slapped you. Keeping Ayu in line is my job. Lady Yui asked me to keep an eye on her, and I failed. I feel most humbled. Lady Yui? I wonder who that is. Based on the title Marina gave her, she sounds like royalty. Is she a foreign princess? But what connection does she have with Marina and Ayu? I'm a little lost. But before I can ponder this, I feel a soft sensation against my thigh. Marina is gripping my upper thigh with one hand, her manicured leg or nails digging through the fabrics of my pants. Hiroki. Marina leans in, her voice falls to a soft, sultry whisper, which envelops my body like a caress. I cannot overstate how sorry I am that Ayu causes so many problems. She's a naughty girl, and I will scold her later. But for now, I would like to apologize on her behalf. Would you mind coming back to my office with me? You're a fine specimen of a man, and it's been a long time since I last found prey worthy of my unique attention. You intrigued me the moment I saw you, so please. Marina licks her lips, her eyes heavy with expectation. Don't let me down. Dang, okay. Gosh, this is like kind of the same thing over and over again. As much as I want to like continue on forward, I think I may leave it off here. I'm gonna save it, get a nice empty slot going. Boom. There we go. Friday, May 28th. You could, I guess you could kind of see, you know, when this is coming out. But yeah, this has been a very interesting game to say the least. I would play more, but it's gonna be like the same thing over and over again, and you guys kind of like get the gist of it. I mean, you know, let me have a drink because I've been talking so much. Oh, so good. Essentially, okay, I want to give my thoughts and feelings about this game. It's been a bit of a longer first play than anticipated, because I thought there was going to be like a good stopping point at some point, but I guess I was very much so mistaken. This game, I'm gonna say this. I'm a little bit disappointed in this game, in how this game actually turned out to be. I thought it was gonna be there's gonna be a little more to it, because at least Senran Kagura, whether it be Reflections or Peach Ball, they at least had substance to them. There was a little bit of at least a little bit of gameplay within both of those games, especially Peach Ball. It was straight up pinball, but just with, anime girls. So at least those two had something to them, had some substance to them. This game is literally just a matter of reading through an insane amount of dialogue with, I guess, occasional picking, one of however many choices, probably just 2 choices, but there might be, instances later on where there's more choices. It's hard to say, but I couldn't wish this game had more to it. I really wish it did. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions. I mean, if you guys want to check this game out for yourself, I think it's like pretty cheap on the Switch eShop. I think it's like $5-ish, like base game. So it's not terrible on price. I guess if you want to just like spend like a few bucks on this game, go right ahead. But I don't know. I wish there was a little more to it. I personally wish there was. There is a second one actually available on the Switch, which I will get to at some point, and I really hope that one has more to it. I hope that one's actually more enjoyable of a game than this one is. So, but yeah, with that all said, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Social media, including Twitch, is of course down below in the description, including of course my music channel, Midnight Operator. I highly suggest you check that out. It's stuff for everyone. Heck, I bet even Marina likes Midnight Operator. I bet she does. So if Marina likes Midnight Operator, I think you will as well. Also, let me know down below how you guys feel about this game. I want to know exactly, from what you've seen in this first span, I guess in general, from what you've seen, if you think it's a good game, if you think it's a bad game, think that more could be done with it, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this game down below in the comments. And with that all being said, I'll be seeing you guys next time. Pop-Tart out.